Now, can you work out where this is? It has a life expectancy on a par with Djibouti and a fertility rate somewhere between Malawi and Yemen. Dead well before 60 and an average of 6 children per family, or rather per single mother. It's the fictional London housing estate of Diston, as conjured up by Martin Amis in his new novel, Lionel Asbo. The squalid setting is the product of its inhabitants, a feckless bunch, among whom Lionel Asbo has the distinction of being more coarse, stupid and violent than most. Sod the work ethic, Asbo wins 140 million on the lottery. The novel is subtitled State of England.
In Diston, everything hated everything else, and everything else in return hated everything back. Everything soft hated everything hard, and vice versa. Cold fought heat, heat fought cold. Everything honked and yelled and swore at everything, and all was weightless, and all hated weight.
Lionel Asbo, the protagonist of your book, is aggressively ignorant, he's violent, he's a lout. And the book's subtitled State of England. Are you saying he somehow represents the State of England?
I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is the book, all 270 pages of it. This is not strict realism. This is a sort of fairy tale world of arbitrary rewards and arbitrary punishments, of nursery rhymes, and that's the imagery of the novel. It's not a frowning examination of England.
But you've chosen to put State of England as a subtitle.
Yeah, I sometimes regret that.
When people say that this is a pretty scathing attack upon what we used to call the working class, what do you say?
It's not an attack on the working class, and he's not a member of the working class. He's a member of the criminal class.
I bet a member of the unworking class.
Yes, of what used to be called the residium, the underclass. And it's not even an attack on that. Novels don't come out of negative feelings. You couldn't write with disgust, with contempt. They're all erotic and embracing feelings, and not the opposite.
But Lionel Asbo represents something, doesn't he? He represents a particular sort of human being whom many of in the middle class in this country live in terror of.
I don't know if he represents it. He's an example of it, and is then comically magnified by a stroke of luck, and joins that considerable stratum of English society who are famous for being famous, in the trite phrase, and yet somehow capture the imagination of England. And you wonder what kind of shape the imagination of England is, that it is captured by these marginal and, as you say, undeserving figures.
What do you conclude about the state of the imagination of England from the fact that it is so obsessed with celebrity and material success, and unearned material success very often?
Well, I think it's, you could make the laborious historical case that we've been in decline for 70 years. And what are the consequences of that in the public mind? They're not going to be obvious. They're going to be subliminal. And the obsession with triviality is one of the symptoms of decline. We lead the world in decline. America's just embarking on that. They're children in the matter of decline. We've been doing it longer than anyone else. We rose earlier than any other country, with the exception of Holland, perhaps. We had our revolution a century before the French and the Americans. We were further along, and we're further along in decline.
Do you like England?
I'm as attached to it as you'd expect after living
well, I
here.
don't know. Having read this, I don't think you'd be attached to it at all.
Having lived here for half a century, and it's affectionate. It's not scathing. England, it seems, is getting, and you yourself are getting more sensitive about criticism from without. Do you think England is above reproach?
No, of course, nowhere is above reproach.
No, but I'm connected to England not only through habituation and having lived here, but through its literature. And I'm proud of being English. I'm proud of coming from the language, from the country of Shakespeare and Milton and Dickens and all the rest.
So you're not a bitter man?
Not at all,
You're
no.
a jolly man, are you?
Yeah, I think my love of life has increased, and one of the benefits of, when you hit 60, you think this can't possibly end well. It's going to end in tears. But then, very quickly, you begin to value life as much as you did when you were a child. And if this is second childhood, then it's good fun. You have a kind of leave-taking poignancy about you. Not anger, and certainly not reactionary anger. I don't want to turn the clock back. That's the idlest kind of inquiry. I want to see what's there and see what comedy is there in it. At this point, Threnody bustles out wearing a turquoise rubber catsuit, retrieves her sunglasses and bustles back in again. There's a silence. Them other birds, says Asbo, they were all up for porking on the very first night. Not Threnody. She's not that kind of girl. Lyle, she says, you're like a little boy lost. Trust me. I'll be your shepherdess and guide you through the celebrity circuit. Give me your hand. We shake on it, and she gazes into me eyes, and she whispers, let's seal our pledge, she says, with a swift jobby in the stretch. The limo. Dead discreet.
Well, that's all from Newsnight tonight. Kirsty's in the chair tomorrow. Good night.